All right, welcome in everyone to our first ever episode of Double Coverage. I'm Mason Peterson. I'm joined by Alex Keller. I hope everyone's having a good day. Alex, how's your day going today, man?
It's a nice Sunday. I mean, it's kind of rainy outside, but
Right.
can't complain, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. So, obviously, we've been kicking into the NBA playoffs. It's been very interesting these
Yep.
first couple games. Obviously, there's a game seven tonight between the Warriors and Rockets. But before we get into that, let's dive into this Knicks and Pistons series. So this series had the potential of being a good one, which it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Obviously, Knicks ultimately ended up winning 4-2, but it was a very interesting series. So you got the Pistons. Last
Yep.
year they were historically bad. 14 and
Really bad.
68. 14 and 68. You bring in JB Bickerstaff. You get very high level play out of both Jalen Duran and Asar Thompson compared to what they previously have, and you just let Cade Cunningham play very freely, and then that 14 and 68 goes to a what was the record this year? I believe it was 44 and 38,
Yeah.
and then you're playing the Knicks in the playoffs. Like, what do you even like? That's just crazy.
I don't know. I think, like you said, I think Asar Thompson, the Thompson twins to me are,
Yeah.
their ceiling is so high. Like, they're
Hmm.
so athletic. Their defense is ridiculous. And then obviously their scoring is
Yeah.
really good as well. But for me, I think Malik Beasley was another really
Yes.
big asset to the Pistons. I mean,
Hmm.
he was one of the best shooters this season. I think wasn't he top
Yeah.
three for made threes this
Yeah.
season as
He
well?
was up there. He was definitely up
Yeah.
there.
So I think
Hmm.
I just think the Pistons built a solid team around Cade Cunningham,
Yeah.
and obviously Cade, in my opinion, as much people would agree, is the leading factor to why they went to where they went in the first round.
Absolutely. Yep.
But I do think building a solid surrounding force around Cade Cunningham helped. And it was sad to see them lose because I was kind of rooting for them because obviously they were kind of the underdog from going from a 14 win season to first making it to the first round of the playoffs. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of ups and downs it takes from the Pistons season, but dude, they got so much potential.
Absolutely. Dude, going back to Malik Beasley, he was unreal this year, like you said.
I
Like
know.
coming off the bench, six man. I think he might have got snubbed for the six man of the year. I mean, obviously Pritchard
Dude, it
is
was close. It
yeah,
was close because Peyton Pritchard's a dog.
yeah. Pritchard. The only thing I have against Pritchard is just how many minutes he does get a game. So he's almost averaging like starter minutes. I
Yeah,
believe Peyton Pritchard is averaging almost the same minutes as what Donovan Mitchell is averaging for the Cavs this year.
that's crazy.
Yeah. And then you got obviously Ty Jerome. He's averaging probably maybe 20 minutes a game.
Mm,
So, yeah, I feel like just Malik Beasley. Dude, he was just insane this year.
yeah.
So, but moving on to the Knicks, Jalen Brunson, dog.
Clutch player
Jalen
of the year.
Brunson is a dog. Yep, absolutely. And then you get, what was it? They got first rounded last year? Did they?
Yeah, I
Or was it
believe.
second?
Wait. No, the
I'm not.
second round to the Pacers.
Okay. Yeah. And then you get rid of DiVincenzo, you break up the Nova boys. Obviously, they brought in
Hmm
Mikal Bridges, who was a Nova boy, but then they got rid of DiVincenzo, and then you bring in a player like Cat, and his contributions to this team was just unmatched. And I'm really looking forward to this Knicks Celtics series. I told you, I
Yeah.
think the Knicks are gonna get over that hump, and I think they're gonna make it to Eastern Conference Finals, like to play my Cavs after we wipe the floor at the Pacers.
Yeah, all right. Well, listen, I'll
But
tell you what. I think the Knicks Celtics series is going to be good, right? I don't. Some
yeah.
people believe it might be like a sweep of 4-1,
Hmm.
whatever. I don't believe. I think we'll at least go to Game 6. The
Yeah.
Knicks. I feel like the people don't give the Knicks enough respect. Like you said, Cat is remarkable. Offensively, defensively, his board
Yep.
getting is incredible. Jalen Brunson, clutch player of the year. Um, People argue he's a foul baiter. I'm not going to comment on that.
Yeah. Right. That's just the
I
NBA
mean,
nowadays.
NBA nowadays, there's a
Yep.
bunch of foul baiters, but regardless, he gets buckets. And then you got people like Josh Hart. Josh Hart's one of those people where
Yes.
I feel like any team would love to have a player like
Yep.
Josh Hart. He
Yes.
just does everything. I mean, he's 6'4", and
Yep.
half the time he's the leading rebounder on the team. Like he's
Hmm.
just out there working. He's like a Drew Holiday to me. I mean,
Yeah.
and that's why
He's
I think
yeah.
this is going to be a good series because Drew Holiday,
Absolutely.
Josh Hart, like we have two fairly similar teams here, and I just think we could see a Game 7
Right.
series.
And then the one guy we're like not even mentioning, we're sleeping on, OG Anunoby. I mean, this
I
guy comes in,
know.
averages 18. He's OG Anunoby is averaging 42 minutes per game this year.
That's crazy. That's insane.
That's yeah. So let me go down this list. So you have Brunson at 40 minutes per game. Then you have Karl Anthony Towns at 37.7 minutes per game, and then you got Anunoby at 42, and then you got Mikal Bridges at 38, then Josh Hart at 37. Tom Thibodeau has these guys conditioned.
I mean, that's just what he does, man.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
Yeah. But yeah, and then obviously Jalen Brunson, just that game-winning shot,
Yeah,
snatch back
that
on
was
Asar
clutch.
Thompson.
Yeah, I mean, Asar's
That
a
was
great defender too, so
yeah.
that's like
Oh, he is. Yes.
I don't. That was crazy. That was crazy.
Mhm. Yeah, that series was. I figured it'd be interesting. I was kind of hoping the Pistons would win, just because of I don't think they've been to the playoffs since. I believe the last time they're in the playoffs was 2016, because I know
Probably
they got
sounds
first
about
round.
right.
That was the year the Cavs won the finals. The Cavs swept them in the first round. But their last playoff win, if I heard this correctly, I believe their last playoff win was in 2008.
Yeah, they were talking about that when they won their first
Hmm.
playoff game
That's
this
yes, that
series.
is
Yeah,
crazy. And then obviously the big story going from 14 and 68 to 44 and 38.
yeah, tripled their win
Unbelievable.
record.
You got to give Bickerstaff credit where it's due, and then
Yeah, he's a
obviously
good
the rest
coach.
of the team. But they ran into a juggernaut with Brunson and Hart and
Yeah, I
Cat
mean that's a
and
tough
OG
team to
Anunoby.
beat.
Yeah. Yep.
Especially
Especially,
with the more not being in the playoffs more recently
yeah.
and not like seeing that level of play. I
Hmm.
mean, I feel like though we could see a Pistons run next season. I think we
Oh,
could.
absolutely. So young. The team is
Hmm.
very young. They're just going to be good upcoming years. All right, so we're going to move on to the Pacers and Bucks. Now, I know this one's a little sentimental to you, being a Bucks fan, so I want to hear your thoughts on
Uh, yeah.
this series.
So obviously, not having Dame
Yeah,
wasn't it
it's
kind of was
crucial.
unfortunate.
Hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, Giannis is a top three player in the world, right? You got
Yeah.
Jokic, Shea, and Giannis, right? Um, I mean, Gary Trent Jr. Crazy, crazy. He had
Bucket.
two
Yep.
crazy games, but that
Yep.
last game he
Yep.
went crazy, and then he dropped the ball out of bounds, and there's so many different plays you can look back
Yeah.
at, and uh, as at the time you want to look back at that one player, he drops the ball out of bounds, and you want to blame him.
Hmm.
But realistically, um, he was the second biggest reason why we're even in that game.
Yeah.
So I personally feel like, as a Bucks enthusiast, Giannis needs help. So if he's going to stay in
Oh, yeah.
Milwaukee, I feel like we need to get rid of Brook Lopez because, I mean, the last two games we played him for like 10 or less
Hmm.
minutes, I believe, because he's just getting older. He's slower.
Yep.
I mean, I don't think the Kyle Kuzma trade did as much. If anything, it probably hurt us.
Yeah.
Um,
I would have to agree with that. That was just I don't know. So like going to the Giannis thing, I just they win a chip in what 2021, right?
yeah.
Against the
Yep.
Suns,
Mhm.
and then you get rid of Drew
Drew
Holiday,
Holiday.
which was one of the most crucial
That was
parts of that
the worst
roster.
thing we've done. Yep.
Yeah, and then you get rid of Chris Middleton. So I just feel like, and then you bring in Doc Rivers and Darvin Ham. Like
Dude, bro.
now, Doc Rivers, obviously, but Darvin Ham, after like what he did with the Lakers, like I just
Yeah.
don't get it. Now I understand like he brought a lot more of a chip to Milwaukee than what he did LA.
For sure. Yep.
But I just feel like just getting rid of all of Giannis's like what he needs. Like
Mhm.
yeah, there's not really besides Giannis. There's not really no bucket getter, especially when Dame's out.
Yeah, when Dame's out for sure. Yeah,
Right. I mean, Bobby Portis, he can come in and he can light you up. I love Bobby
he can't.
Portis.
Yeah,
Dude,
I feel like you can't hate Bobby
yeah,
Portis.
like he scored what 28 points to one game.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and then obviously Gary. I feel like Gary Trent Jr. is hit or miss.
Very hit or miss.
Which
He had 30. He had like 38, and then the next game I think he
yeah,
had 6 or something like
right.
that.
So yeah, but I just feel like they're just not. They're just I don't know. It's just weird. You
It's
know what
tough. It's a tough situation.
Right. It is
I
a
mean,
very
like you
tough
said,
situation.
we got rid of Drew Holiday, and then like obviously this year we got rid of Chris Middleton, and
Mm-hmm.
I think our one of our biggest things is like we can score, especially with Giannis on the
Yeah.
floor. I mean, we can score, but we don't have that like guard defense.
Yeah.
Like Kuzma's not that good at defense. Dame's not good at
Right.
defense. Um, Torian Prince. Oh, dude, I
Yeah.
don't even want to talk about Torian Prince, dude.
Yeah.
Darwin Ham brought him over, and I was like, oh no,
Right.
dude.
But like, yeah, you give. I mean, obviously, when Dame's healthy, he's one of the best.
Yep.
But you bring in someone like at the two that could, because these kind of players don't. They're not that can play defense, but can get you a bucket whenever you need one. Kind of
Mhm.
like Josh Hart. Like Josh Hart can get you a
Yeah.
bucket,
Yeah.
and he will go down and he'll play defense. Those guys are like they're rare nowadays.
Yeah,
Because
I know.
guys got like Luca. You got guys like Luca. He'll
Purely
score
offense.
30 points a night, but he'll also give up
His
about
plus minus
40
gonna be
points.
bad.
Yeah. So I mean, this series was just. I mean, the games weren't like. They weren't.
There were 2 games that weren't
There
that
was
close.
Yeah, there was game. I believe it was game 4. The Pacers won by 26, and then game 1. Yeah, game 1. Pacers won by like 20 something.
Yeah,
So
the other ones were close. I mean, I think I think like an example of like the Thompson twins, one of the Thompson twins, if they
mhm.
came to Milwaukee, I think that would like completely change the team because
Yeah,
they bring such a positive defensive presence and they can get pretty solid buckets too.
absolutely.
So
Yep.
I personally think that'd be a good fit.
Yeah. So we're gonna move to the Pacers for a little bit. I want to hear what you have to think, what you have to say about Tyrese Halliburton. Now,
Well,
listen, I know this the little scrum that him and Lillard had at the end in game 2,
yeah,
and Halliburton was like he won the league voting of most overrated player of the year, I believe.
yeah,
Right?
he did. Yep.
Yeah, and I know Damian Lillard probably logged into 14 different accounts.
Voted
Voted him
for
14
that,
different
yeah.
times. But, I mean, I can't say I disagree. I mean, obviously he's a good player. He won that game for the Pacers, and yeah, absolutely. In game 5, he went out,
He did.
and when they needed him most, he got it. But it's just not consistent enough. I just don't think he's very consistent when he does it.
No, I mean,
You know what I mean?
I
Like,
think, yeah, no, I agree. I think the Pacers overall, in my opinion, I mean, I'm trying to be as least biased as I
yeah,
can.
yeah.
But I personally think during the regular season, the Pacers can be a pretty average team to
Yeah.
slightly above average. Like they're not a wow. Like they're not going to wow
Yeah.
you in the regular
Right.
season, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
I think they're just good enough to get to the playoffs every year,
Mhm.
right? And then for some reason, when they get to the playoffs, they just turn up for like the first 2 rounds, and
Yeah,
they're like,
yep.
all right, yep, someone else
Now,
will take
yeah,
the chip. I'm not gonna.
we'll see and come today, around 6 o'clock, when Cleveland's hosting them in Rocket Mortgage tonight. But
Yeah.
we'll save that conversation for later.
Yep.
All right, so yeah, I mean this series, I mean Bucks got game 3. When they got game 3, I was like, they took game 3 and Lillard scored 11 points.
Yeah, that's what I'm
So
saying.
I'm like, so they're gonna flip this around. Lillard's obviously now. Here's one thing I don't understand. Lillard was probably so tired going into game 4. That was his first game since March, and
I
he
know.
played what 40 minutes.
Yeah, 30, 40,
You
something
can't
like
do that. I don't think you.
I
I
know.
don't think you can do that.
Yeah, I don't think Doc Rivers handled that well.
Yeah, I don't. It was just an interesting series all the way around. Just like
Mhm.
I mean, you got Giannis obviously, like all this stuff with Halliburton's dad, Giannis, And then the reporter asked Halliburton, like, what are your thoughts on Giannis? Halliburton goes, I got nothing bad to say. I mean, he dropped 30, 20, and 10. So, like,
Exactly.
yeah, if you give that help, the Bucks are, dude, they're Eastern Conference
Scary.
Finals championship contenders. Absolutely.
Exactly.
But unfortunately, I can't say how long, if they keep this up, how long Giannis is going to stay in Milwaukee.
I know. I mean, I don't know if you've been on social media lately, but I've been seeing a bunch of trade talks about Giannis going
Yeah.
different places and
Yeah,
what they would give up, and
obviously those all come to like a circle after they like lose a series, but I mean,
yeah.
I can see it.
I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
first round exits, like what, the past 3 years, I believe.
Mhm.
It's like I don't know. I mean, I mean, I think all of our picks are locked for the
Yeah.
foreseeable future. So it's
Now,
like, what do
yeah.
you do?
I don't think Giannis leaves because I believe Giannis bleeds and dies in Milwaukee.
I believe. I think
He
if he leaves,
he
it's
bleeds
because
that
they trade him
green.
for some reason.
Yeah, it'd be like a Luka trade, but I just don't.
Exactly. Yep.
I can't see Giannis leaving Milwaukee, but like it's something you can't overlook
No, you
for
definitely
sure.
have to think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Pacers ended up taking this series 4-1, and they're moving on to the
Yep.
second round and playing the Cavs. So we're gonna move on to now. We're gonna move on to the Celtics and Magic.
Yeah.
I'm saving the best for last. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I
We're
got
gonna-
you. Yep.
Celtics. So this series, so I thought it was the 4-1. I thought the Magic were gonna play them a little bit tougher than what they did because I don't know if I told you, but I feel like the Magic are one of those teams that match up against the good teams best than what most other lower seeds do. Because now
Mhm.
I forgot, like completely forgot Suggs was hurt. I don't know why. Like I was watching game one, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, that's right. But like you put Suggs on whoever their one is, your Holiday. Well, but he was hurt for a couple games. So, but like Suggs, and then you got Banchero. He matches up well. I mean, obviously Tatum's just ridiculous.
bucket. Yeah, he's
Tatum's
crazy.
Tatum is by far one of the best players in the NBA.
Mhm.
But like, and then who's? Oh, I'm having a blank. Who's the center?
Jalen
again?
Brown. Oh, Tingus Pingus.
Yeah, the Magic's.
Oh.
Carter?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you put him up against Tingus Pingus.
Tingus Pingus, yeah.
But like, dude, he no matter. I don't care how like he's slimmer, so he's not as strong. You know what I mean? But he is a 7'4", maybe not 7'4", but you know what I'm getting at. But
Yeah.
he can shoot.
Yeah, I know, he's crazy.
Like he'll be at the logo. He's catching that and just firing it.
Just popping
Like
it, I know.
at some
and he
points,
goes
I'm like,
in
dude,
a lot
what?
of times.
Yeah. At some points, I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
And then
I mean,
you got, yeah,
I think the Celtics getting Porzingis
Yeah.
was perfect for them
It was.
because he's a great center, and I think he fits the team pretty well. Because overall, as a team, they're one of the most frequently 3-point shooting teams in the league,
yeah,
and I think he fits that pretty well. Now, like you said, he's a little skinnier, so like
yeah,
if he's gonna play, like if he were to play someone like Giannis or whatever,
yeah,
like
yeah.
Giannis is gonna probably dominate him.
He's not gonna win the
Well,
bang. He's not gonna win the
Yeah,
bang
he's not
contest.
exactly. But I mean, he stretches the floor, and I
Absolutely.
think that helps the Celtics then because
Yes.
Tatum and Jalen Brown's finishing ability is ridiculous,
Yes.
and
Porzingis
that allows
makes-
them to just drive
Yep.
in.
Porzingis makes that offense way better, just
Yep.
for his ability to expand the floor, like he said. So, the Magic though, like, I mean, obviously they did play him competitively, like they played him
Yeah.
tough. There was a lot of close games, and I feel like the Magic could have won a couple games, but they obviously ended up choke fest. So, but yeah, I mean, but I think the real MVP of this series was Joe Mazzola. Joe Mazzola is the unsung hero of this entire team. He is the coach that if I was in the NBA, I would want Joe Mazzola.
Yeah.
You remember when Tatum goes down with his hand injury? All right,
And he's like, get up.
get up. Yeah, it doesn't even let the trainer go. That's just a coach right there. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Yeah,
And then Tatum-
you gotta love that.
Yeah, absolutely. And then obviously Tatum misses game. What was it? Game 4.
Yeah,
and the Magic take Game 4. Yeah, and
I
then
believe so. Yeah.
and obviously Celtics in 5 ultimately. Tatum, still Tatum, broken hand, whatever. Yeah, it's but ultimately this series obviously ended 4-1. I thought it was gonna be a lot better than what it was. Obviously the games were close, but
Yeah, yeah. There were
Celt
there were I'd probably say at least one other game that the Magic lost, maybe two. That it was close, and the Magic were like they were leading going into the final minutes of the fourth quarter, and I thought maybe the Magic take it away, but then like you said, choke fest like the fourth quarter they just like crumble. I don't know if they crumble, but like they just I guess aren't clutch enough to
yeah,
capitalize
yeah,
on the win.
yeah. But Celtics Knicks is gonna be interesting.
Yeah,
Very
I think it'll
interesting.
be very
I think it's
interesting.
gonna be a
Yeah.
good matchup. I think
Hmm.
that first game's on Monday.
I
It'll be
believe so.
fun.
Yep.
Yep. So now moving on to the Heat and Cavs.
Bro. I mean,
So
not much to talk about here, in
yeah,
my
this
opinion.
was the most lopsided series I've ever seen before. And
Yeah.
just saying, these two teams split 2-2 over the regular season.
Wow. I did not know that
Yeah.
actually.
So, I mean, obviously, but I will say game 1 and game 2 in Rocket Mortgage in Cleveland, the Heat played Cleveland very well in the first 3 quarters of both games.
Hmm.
It was very competitive. I was actually getting nervous both games. The Heat in game 1, obviously the Cavs ended up winning by 20 in game 1, but like it was if you watch the whole game, the scoreboard doesn't reflect on how close that game actually was going
Yeah.
into the fourth quarter at least. And then
Hmm.
obviously you have a Cavalanche, they score probably 15 unanswered points and then
Yeah.
they ultimately end up winning by 20. And that's the same story with game 2. Like the Cavs won by 9, but like that entire game from start to finish was just hard fought. It was close.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I think as like people who probably didn't watch that series as much because they were like, yeah, Cavs are gonna just take it no matter what. Like for me, I really didn't watch much of the games, like
Mhm.
any of them. I watched the last
Yeah.
game. Like, I watched Game 4. Dude, I probably stopped watching at halftime and then like kept checking in slowly in the second
Yeah.
half just because it was a slaughter fest.
Yeah.
And for me, only watching that game, I would have assumed that the Cavs did that the whole series, right?
Mhm.
But like you just said, the
Yeah.
first, especially the first two games, were a lot closer than what people
Yeah.
really thought.
Absolutely.
And I mean, as a non-Cavs fan, I don't think that's anything to worry about, like having
No.
a close
Mm-mm.
game with the Heat.
Yeah.
I mean, especially because of how the last two games were and just
How they handled.
dominating.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, I mean, low key kind of reminds me of the Thunder playing against the
Yep.
Grizzlies, dude. I
Down
mean,
29 points. Like.
and then
Yeah.
coming
That's
back, yeah, exactly. So I
so.
think
Yeah.
Cavs Thunder are
Yeah.
slightly comparable for me from the East to the West.
Yep. All right. So I want to point something out here. Right. Game. I think it was game 1. Or it was either game 1 or 3. Ty Jerome.
I
Ty
know you love
Jerome.
Ty Jerome.
Game 1. He goes 10 for 15, 5 for 8 from the 3. He drops 28 points in game 1. Ty Jerome,
That's
here's the top 3 scores. You have Donovan Mitchell at 30. You
hmm
have Ty Jerome at 28, and then you have Darius Garland at 27. That right there is what takes in my opinion makes the Cavs the finals contenders because it's not like well, I'll go back to the Bucks. Sorry, like Giannis, he's the
hmm
only one that can really score. This you got bench players. You got people coming off the bench putting up 28, and let
yeah,
alone like DeAndre Hunter scored 0 points this game, and DeAndre Hunter averages probably 18 a game off the bench. So that alone, I believe, is what is going to help them get over the hump of not making it past the second round, being typical Cleveland. You just got consistent scoring from all levels of the roster.
yeah.
So
I
that's
mean,
just right there.
yeah, like what you're saying, a very well-rounded roster.
Yeah.
Um, and like you said, I mean, the Pacers, in my opinion, they have a fairly well-rounded
Yeah.
roster as well. But I don't think that their their top two players can compare to the Cavs'
Yeah.
top two players. And like Ty Jerome, he was sixth man of the year candidate.
Yeah.
Obviously, he didn't win, but
Right.
you could argue that he should have
Yeah,
won. A
absolutely.
lot of people do argue
He's
that,
yep, because the thing you can argue is he's averaging probably 15 less minutes than what Beasley and
and putting up similar numbers.
Pritchard. And yeah, his numbers are almost exact. His numbers are very, very similar to Peyton Pritchard. And I actually believe the only stat that Jerome don't have Pritchard in is points per game and minutes. Everything else, like he has him in rebounds. I think he has him in assists. I think he has him in steals. Like,
I mean, if that's
it's
not
just
saying something, then
it could go hand in hand. But I just want to get back to this because I also thought this was funny. Darius Garland was asked at the end of game 2 how they kind of keep the Heat in check, and he commented they pick on Tyler Hero, like pick on their weak defenders. So obviously Tyler Hero had something to say. He's like, well, Darius Garland don't play defense anyway, like, you know what I mean? And then said something along the lines of like game 3, whatever. You come into game 3 down 2-0. You're coming back into your home court. Darius Garland was announced probably 5 hours before the game that he wasn't even playing. Darius Garland wasn't even playing. And the Heat loses by 37 points. And then game 4, Darius Garland's not playing again. I don't care if you're 0-82. I don't care if you're an elementary basketball school team. I don't care if you don't have your best player. You do not, in the playoffs, at home, lose by 55 points.
Yeah, I mean, it was almost a record, right?
Yeah. The point differential in the series was 122.
That's
I
terrible.
think that is awful. The Heat lost by a combined 92 points at home in game 3 and 4.
That's sad. That's
No,
sad.
you cannot let that happen. Now, I believe there's going to be a lot of upcoming changes in the Heat's organization, whether it's now obviously, I mean, Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo, I mean, they don't have much help. Now, I will say Davion Mitchell played very well.
Yeah, he's something that needs to be talked about.
Davion Mitchell was a crucial part to that team this year and in the playoffs. I mean, obviously they got swept, but Davion Mitchell, in my opinion, I think he might have been the MVP of that series for the Heat. Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, I don't think you can make the case. I mean, Hero had 33 in game 2, but then he turns around and has 11 in game 3, and then he turns around game 4. You know how many points he had? He went 1 for 11. He had 4 points. Yeah.
See, like that, and like some people claim like Bam is the star of the Heat team, but other people claim it's Tyler Hero. I think Tyler Hero is a very, very solid player.
Oh,
but
absolutely.
When it comes to the playoffs and you do that as the star player at home, like I know you're down 3-0, right? And no one's coming back, but at least put up a fight. 4 points in an entire game.
Yeah. Now I get, right. Now I understand like maybe the Cavs' defensive focal point was Tyler Hero, but I mean, everyone's is when they play you. It's you and Bam Adebayo. Like you've been doing it all year. You score points all year, and then you have a little bit of trash talk, and then you turn around and score 15 points combined the next 2 games. So I mean, obviously, losing Jimmy Butler. Losing him was just the end of the season in my opinion. Yeah. I mean, obviously they rallied and won a few games to make the play-in, and then they obviously made it past the play-in. But losing Jimmy Butler was not good. And now obviously you see Jimmy Butler shining in Golden State, which I'm hoping I'm hoping they beat the Rockets in Game 7.
Well, I mean, that's what I was getting ready to transition into here. I mean, we got to talk about this Warriors-Rockets series going to Game 7, dude. Up 3-1.
We're done with the Cavs and Heat series. That game was
I can just see the LeBron photo right now, and then transition to Jalen Green, bro. I mean, dude, the Warriors could choke this.
Yep.
I mean, they were at home. for Game 6, and they lost.
Yeah, they got
Like, pretty
killed.
pretty
Yeah,
bad, too.
yeah. Steph, I mean, there's just no. When you have to play, I believe it was called back in the day, hack a Shack.
Yeah. On
You
Steven
foul
Adams.
Shaq, yeah, you foul Shaq, and you make him shoot free throws. If your defense gets to the point where you have to do that, and this was in the third quarter,
Yeah, I know.
like this wasn't at the end of the game, this was in the third quarter, and they're already playing hack a Shack with Steven Adams, and
Mhm.
now but Steven Adams is going up to the free throw line and making at least 70% of them.
Which is surprising.
Right, but like when you do that, you have the opportunity. Like they were in it, doing that. They just couldn't. When they were in it, they just couldn't score.
Yeah,
And you have Brandon. Is it Brandon or Braden Pajemski? I think it's Brandon.
Brandon.
Brandon, yeah. So I mean, you have him. He's like the Jordan Poole of when he was on the Warriors. Just, he gets the ball and just launches. But I mean, I like Pajemski. I think he's a solid player, but he just needs to tone it down a little bit because like Steph Curry, dude, like I don't care how old he is. If you need a bucket, you go to Steph Curry. I mean, even Jimmy Butler now. Like Jimmy Butler is playing out of his mind.
I mean, yeah, playoff Jimmy's been a thing for
Yeah.
I don't know, the past however many years. But I agree. The Steph Curry Jimmy Butler duo with how they play in the playoffs. I mean, it's hard to bet against them, but I don't know. I could easily see the Rockets taking in Game 7
Yeah.
at home.
I
Fred
could.
Van Vliet's been playing good.
Yep.
Jalen Green's questionable with how he's been
And
playing.
like,
He hasn't been
yep.
playing as good as what some people expected him to.
Yeah.
But I mean, dude, the Rockets.
And then
I
going
don't
back
know.
to the Amen Thompson. He's
Yeah,
he's
a
ridiculous.
huge asset.
Yeah. Amen Thompson is, like I said about Missoula, the unsung hero of this team.
Mhm.
But I want to focus on Dylan Brooks here. This guy is interesting, all right? So he
Yeah.
goes from strictly, like on the Grizzlies, strictly just he had no offense. Strictly just
Yeah.
playing defense. But like his offense this year has just
It's gone up a lot.
I'm not saying it's insane. I'm just saying it's miles better compared to what it was in the previous years.
No,
And
I
that
agree.
just makes that team 10 times better. You got
For
Dylan
sure.
Brooks actually scoring points.
Yeah, instead of
Whether-
just like trying to make people mad.
Yeah, right. And then like I like you said, I can't see the Warriors winning Game 7 after because they've made it very
I mean,
they've made it very clear that they can't play defense against these guys.
yeah, I mean, like, I don't know if you saw, this was an interview Steph Curry was in, and he said that the Warriors team, they packed to, they obviously play at home, but they had packed their stuff for the second round going into Game 6.
Did they really?
Yeah, like they
Wow.
were, like
Yeah,
they were,
that's
they were
just-
packed. They were ready to just like, we're going, and then they lost,
Like-
and then it's like,
Because they
now
go.
you gotta go to Houston.
Yep. The winner of this plays, I believe, is it the Timberwolves? I believe so.
Yes, they play the
Okay.
Timberwolves. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, but it's gonna be it's tonight at 9:30 Eastern time, obviously.
Yep.
But it's gonna be a good game. I'm definitely gonna be
yeah,
tuning
I'm
in, watching
I'm
it.
definitely gonna be having that on. I mean, I hope it's a close game. I don't really want to see a blowout either way. It'd be exciting to see it go down to the
Yeah.
wire. I think a big factor in that is going to be whether or not Fred VanVleet is on or not, because in these past like 2 games that they've won, he's been shooting lights
Yeah,
out from three.
he has
He's been
been.
huge for them. I think we're also going to need Draymond to not get a flagrant or a technical,
Yeah.
which I saw a stat last game I was watching, Game 6, that
Mhm.
throughout the other games, throughout the series, Draymond has had 3 technicals and 2 flagrant fouls.
Yeah, I mean, you can't have that.
You can't, dude. I mean,
Like he's a seasoned veteran. He knows he's been in this league. He's won 4 championships. He knows what you can and can't have. Now, like I understand maybe like I don't know. I mean, flagrant fouls those are kind of I don't even know because flagrant fouls like if you even accident, like if you land in someone's, they're going for a jump shot and you have your toe where they land, that's a flagrant foul. Like
Yeah,
flagrant fouls, I feel like are just a little overused or like overlooked at sometimes. But I mean, obviously the technical fouls are what you can really can't have, and that he should
yeah,
know
for
that,
sure.
and he just shouldn't. But clearly, he's selfish most of the time. But I don't know. It's gonna be
I'm
interesting
excited. It's
tonight.
gonna be good.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a good game.
it's
I'm
gonna be a
excited.
very
Yeah.
good game. But I feel like I just got to go with Houston at home. They're
Yeah,
playing
at home
extremely
after the
well.
all the momentum coming from being
Yep.
down 3-1. I mean, if they're playing like they did the past two games, it's I think it's wraps to
Yep.
the
And we
Warriors.
know the Warriors are good at blowing 3-1 leads, don't we?
Yep. Yep.
All right. So yeah, that series, this game will be interesting tonight. But moving on, we're gonna go to the Nuggets and Clippers because this game just ended last last night, and Nuggets
Yeah.
ultimately coming out in Game 7. This was like now I didn't watch Game 6 because of my power was out,
Yeah.
but I haven't really watched this series as much as I should have, just because the games are always so late, just because it's obviously clear out west. But
Mhm.
I mean, Jokic, Jokic is Jokic.
Yeah, well,
Like,
see, so I have one of my best friends is a Nuggets fan, right? He loves
okay,
Jokic and Nuggets. And me personally, I love Kawhi. Um,
yeah,
I'd say he's probably my second favorite player ever. Um, but so I watched a lot of this series, and the one thing that I think needs to be talked about is Jokic not performing how a lot of
yeah.
people expected him
Oh yeah,
to,
absolutely.
but they're still winning games because
Right.
playoff Jamal Murray is coming out. He's being a
Yep.
dog. He's getting buckets, whatever. I I think for the Clippers, Kawhi Leonard was probably the biggest factor in them winning
Mm-hmm.
the games that they won, right?
Yep.
The one game I think he had like 40, and he was just like getting buckets. Like he'd come down the court, pull up mid range, pull up three
Yep.
over Aaron Gordon, like just getting
Yeah.
buckets the whole time. Zubac was huge for the Clippers, getting double doubles, and I
Yep.
think 4 of the game, something like that. But and then this game seven, I watched the game seven. James Harden was not there pretty much. His presence was, I mean, he had a lot of assists, but his scoring presence
Mm-hmm.
was not there at all.
Yeah.
I mean, they lost pretty bad in game seven. It's kind of
Yeah.
sad to see. You would have
Yep.
expected more from the Clippers,
I
but
thought.
I mean,
Yeah.
the Nuggets are just they just
They're
played
just.
better.
They're just completely experienced the whole way around. I mean, they
Yeah.
won a finals with this team.
Hmm.
So I mean, yeah. And then you got. Now I thought this was gonna be Clippers. I thought like Kawhi Leonard, when he doesn't have healthy playoff runs very often, but when he has healthy playoff runs, he
He
won one with the
goes.
Spurs. He won one with the Raptors. He was healthy. I thought
Yep.
this is just gonna be one of those years where we see a Kawhi Leonard run again, but
Hmm.
obviously Nuggets cut that narrative down. But
Yeah.
it was a very interesting series. Now obviously I don't have a lot to say about it, just because of I didn't watch as much of it. But
Hmm.
I mean, Game 7, it speaks for itself. It went to a Game 7,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. I
it's
mean, no, it was a very entertaining series in my opinion. It so far has been the best series in the first round. The first two games especially came down to the last bucket. Like I'm pretty sure both game one and game two were a 2 or 3 point game. I mean, we saw a buzzer beater dunk from Aaron Gordon.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
that, like I can't remember the last time I don't even know if I've ever seen a game winner buzzer beater dunk from anyone.
yeah, right,
So I mean, it was close most of the games, other than Game Seven and I think it was Game Five. The Clippers kind of like took. I think it was Game Five at least. It was Game Five or Game Six, I believe. The Clippers won by a pretty substantial amount, but yeah, I mean, I think in my opinion, my take best series of the first round.
oh
Two
yeah,
pretty good teams battling head to head. I feel
yep,
like they were pretty even in skill. Um, just getting buckets back and forth. I think for the Nuggets going into the second round playing the Thunder, that's going to be kind of
they
hard for
yeah
them.
they got
But
themselves
I
a
think
handful.
the biggest thing for them is going to be Jokic and
Hmm.
what he's able to do.
Yep,
If he's dropping numbers like he was in the regular season, we could possibly see a Nuggets pull out, but I
Yeah.
don't know. It's gonna be tough.
It's gonna be tough, but the thing that makes it, I feel like Jokic on Chet Holmgren or Jokic on even Isaac Hartenstein. I think that's
Yeah,
just a mismatch, like all day. And
yeah.
if they abuse that, the Nuggets have a really good shot at this.
Yeah,
I
no, I mean, yeah,
I
we
think the
could see
Nuggets
a
are
good
that team
series.
that could pull it off.
Yeah.
And then yeah, but this was a great series, very good series. I'm
hmm
excited to see Nuggets and Thunder. But moving on to our last series, right? It's the last series.
No, we got
We
two.
had
We got the
two.
Thunder, Grizzlies, and then
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Timberwolves and
All
Lakers.
right, we'll go to the Thunder and Grizzlies. So obviously 4-0. I mean, there was a
Yeah, I
couple
mean,
games that are competitive. Though obviously the Grizzlies had that massive meltdown in Game 3 when they're up by 29.
yep.
You can't let that happen.
No, you can't at all. And I
No.
mean, like the Thunder are probably the best team in the league. I
Yeah.
mean, they had the best record in
Yep.
the league. I mean, I feel like they're such young talent, but they're
Yeah.
so well rounded. It's kind
Mhm.
of hard to not think that they're gonna win it all. I mean, they're
Yeah.
like realistically looking at the stats and how they played and having Shea an MVP contender and like they could easily win it all, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
I have them going taking the West obviously and going to the finals, but
Yep.
I mean, they might not even go to a game 6 until they get to either the Western
Yeah.
Conference Finals or the
Or even
finals.
the finals. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
exactly.
Like I could see them even sweeping their way to the final. Now, obviously, I don't think they will. I think they're gonna
Yeah,
drop maybe one, maybe even two to the Nuggets. But it's very
possibly.
realistic. Very realistic. So I mean, obviously, but I will say I'm gonna point this guy out for the Grizzlies. Scottie Pippen Jr.
Dude,
is
oh
he
my.
was the reason, one of the reasons why they were even in these games. Scottie
Yeah, for
Pippen
sure.
Jr. balled out,
Yeah,
and
he's
you
he's
just
a
yeah.
bucket, dude.
He's gonna be growing. He's gonna be upcoming. He's gonna be a superstar. But obviously, not much to say about this series. Kind of like the Cavs, other than the Grizzlies just can't be choking a 30-point lead at home. But
Yeah, exactly.
obviously, kudos to the Thunder. They're one
Yeah,
of the
great
only teams
team.
that only one of the only teams that could come back from a deficit like that. But yeah, so we're gonna move on to what. I mean, obviously it was 4-1, but it was one of my favorite series. Is the Lakers and Timberwolves, Ant Man,
Yeah.
Batman, Superman, T Wolves in
Lakers in
five.
5. Yeah. Yeah, no, I
But
mean, I love
yeah,
watching LeBron, dude. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
don't
absolutely,
even get
yeah.
me
We're,
started on
don't, yeah, we're not
LeBron.
gonna get started on that. We're gonna save this
Yeah.
topic for another day.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but I will say, Luka Doncic, if he could play defense, this team would be almost, if not, if they brought in a center. If they brought in
Yeah,
a
they need a
center and
center.
Luka could play defense, this team would be very, very talented and very good.
Yeah, no,
Now,
definitely.
right, like obviously that's been the story of Luka's career, whether he's been an MVP or not. I don't think he's won MVP yet, has he? He might have. No, just the defense, and
Yeah.
That's why Nico got rid of him, which obviously still I believe is the dumbest thing. Why?
Yeah, it's terrible.
Like
Terrible.
why? I don't get it. But I mean, in some sense, AD he can score. Like he is a very good scorer, but he brings defense as well. Now I'm not saying in any means that it was like a even the slightest bit of a all right trade, but like I when you sit back and think about it, you're like I see what he was going for. Whether he did it with the right people bringing in is debatable. Just because of AD's injury status, he's always hurt.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah,
like
I
I
mean, it definitely wasn't a good trade,
no,
right?
no,
Like
not
you're
even the
trading a
slightest bit.
franchise player. I
Yeah,
mean, like to any franchise, like if you trade your franchise player,
yeah,
the player that you drafted or you traded for to take you
hmm
to a finals and win you a chip,
yeah. Yeah, he took him
Like
to a
it's just not
finals the year
good.
before.
Exactly. And
Like,
although they lost, like
right. I mean, he
if
ran
that
into a
team made the
juggernaut Celtics
finals.
team. Yeah.
Exactly. And then obviously after the trade, the Mavs lose Kyrie, so it's like
Yeah. But I mean, I get what he was trying to do, but just to do it in the way that he did and who he
eh,
got in return,
you just can't do that.
it just doesn't sit with me.
No.
Like, how do you not even talk to him? All right. Anyway, I could talk about this forever because
Yeah. Yeah.
it's just
We'll get to
ridiculous.
that another day.
But going back, I mean, Anthony Edwards, dude, he's just a dog.
Remarkable player.
Insane. Like, it's just. I think he might be Jordan's son. All these talks
He
about
might be, yeah, he might be.
he might be. I mean, he plays like him. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard these conspiracy theories? I
I've
don't know.
seen comparisons, yeah,
Dude,
he's
like-
very similar.
It's MJ's kid.
Bro, I could
What
be
can I-
easily.
He jumps like him. He like does everything like him. Who kno-
He
who
looks like
knows?
him.
Yeah, right. It's dude. That's the Timberwolves, and hopefully. I don't know. I feel like the Warriors might play him better, but I feel like the Rockets would make it a better series. But I don't know. That's gonna be
I
tough.
don't know. Regardless, it'd be good, but
Yeah, but I mean, just reflecting on this series, I wasn't expecting the Timberwolves to win in 5.
I was not either.
Personally, thought the Lakers were going to win, not in 5, but just
Overall, yeah.
overall win. But clearly, the Timberwolves proved me wrong. Rudy
Yeah.
Gobert played out of his mind for some reason.
Well, here's the thing, right? Rudy Gobert goes for 27 and 24, which is insane, right? It's crazy. But the Lakers, and especially in the second half, didn't even play center. Half the time, Luka was one of the tallest, if not the tallest, on the court. Like,
Yeah.
they don't have a good center. That's the problem. And I'm not trying to defend JJ Redick here because I think him not playing any center or anything similar to center is not like that's not what you should be doing.
Yeah.
But he also doesn't have a good center to put in.
No, he doesn't. The only center on the team, I believe, is Jackson Hayes, and
I mean, yeah,
he's more of a power forward than a center.
yeah,
Or like
exactly.
I mean, was he hurt? I don't even remember seeing him play.
He played a little bit, I believe,
Did he?
but yeah, not
No.
not that much. No,
I see what they were trying. I see what he's trying to do. Obviously, they're trying to run and gun, but Luka's not a run and gun guy.
no,
He's
he's
not
a
gonna-
walk up the court and
and-
take a
right, and-
slow step back.
Right, and LeBron James is 41 years old. So,
Yeah,
so, like,
he's gonna need a wheelchair to get up and down the court here
yeah,
soon.
right.
No,
Especially after
I'm
the
sorry.
sprained MCL.
Never mind. I don't mean that, LeBron. I apologize.
Yeah, but dude, it's right. He's gonna be in a wheelchair and still averaging 25 per game.
Yeah, he's gonna be wheeling up and down the court, popping threes over everyone.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, this series did not go how I thought it would, whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you saw this at all, but LeBron led his team in every stat category. He was like top 2 in every category, and I think at least like 75% of them used in one. Like at 55 years of age, are you kidding me, dude? Like,
Yeah, right. Hey, I'm gonna say it. 2003, LeBron James comes into the NBA, first overall pick to a Cavs team that went almost historically bad, like the Pistons.
mhm.
2 years later, or maybe a year later, a year or two later, they make the finals. He takes them to the finals. LeBron James goes to Miami. He goes on a run, well, with Miami, Cleveland, and LA. Not LA. Miami goes on a run of 8, was it 8 or 10? 8 straight finals?
No,
No, I think it was 10. I think it was 10.
So I don't remember off the top of my head.
Anyway, goes to a team in the Heat, wins 2 NBA finals, goes to, I think, 4. Then he goes back to Cleveland. 2 years later, he goes to Cleveland in 2015. The Cavs in 2013 and 14 were not very good. His first year, 2015, takes him to the finals.
Mm-hmm.
His second year, he wins the finals against a team that could be considered one of the best of all time based off regular season record.
Yeah.
And he was down 3-1. And then 2017 goes to a final. Here's where we draw the line with LeBron and GOAT status. In 2019, he takes a team with Isaiah Thomas. And Isaiah Thomas was about 29 years old. Obviously, he was. And then he take Dwayne Wade, Derrick Rose, J.R. Smith, Kevin Love, Tristan Thompson. He takes this team to the NBA Finals in 2019. That right there is just like, and then matter of fact, the next year he goes to LA. Very bad season with LA. I won't let that one go past him. Very bad season in LA. Next year wins the finals. So I mean,
I don't think we got to say much more. Honestly, I mean,
right.
I think his career speaks for himself there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's just what he brings. He brings championships no matter where he goes. Every team he's been on, he's brought a championship within 2 years.
Yeah, he's the greatest of all time.
Absolutely. But yeah, going back to Timberwolves,
going
Lakers,
back to the playoffs. Yeah.
We'll go back and forth. There has never been somebody in sports history who was besides maybe Tom Brady. This guy is 41 years old. And everyone's expectations are still to be at the top of the league.
Mm-hmm.
And he's 41.
Yeah,
Jordan, at the age of 38, maybe 37, was on an unwatchable team in D.C. and Washington. LeBron's 41, and we're still expecting him to be great.
And win.
There's where that just... You know what I mean? Like
yeah, exactly. I mean, his great... Like, people... the same people that put him at 2 of all time are the same people that are hating on him for not meeting the expectations of going and getting a chip at the age that he's at.
Right. And then there's, what was it? I think it was 2 arguments that Jordan fans have now. It was that he's 6-0 in the finals and that LeBron James is a crybaby. The crybaby one is just, I mean, obviously, yes, he can be a whiner. But when you're looking at GOAT, that has nothing to do with anything. That's just...
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Jordan has nothing to do with basketball.
Jordan flopped. Jordan laid on the ground.
Jordan's whistle was arguably worse.
Yeah. No one ever said anything about that stuff. But now when LeBron does it, it's because the Jordan fans are scared. They know.
Yeah, I mean,
they know.
Yeah, and then you go to the ring debate, right? And you say, "Whoa, he's got 6 rings. He's 6-0 in the finals." Well, then guess what? Bill Russell's the GOAT because Bill Russell has won more than anyone.
Right, and who is it? Tom Sanders.
And Tom Sanders. Yeah, Tom Sanders is the GOAT. Yeah.
Yeah, Tom Sanders rode Bill Russell for 8 of them.
Yeah, so, exactly.
I mean, yeah. So obviously a little off track, but. Going back to the Lakers and Timberwolves, I mean, obviously I didn't expect it to go like this, but I'm happy for Anthony Edwards. I really like him. He's really bringing the competitive nature back to what it used to be, just because of no, I'm not saying it's not competitive, but Anthony Edwards brings that mentality of I'm here, I'm gonna beat you, I'm gonna get out, I'm gonna go win the next. He brings that competitive nature back. I just love that for him, and I'm excited to see this. Obviously, Timberwolves. Rockets, Warriors. No matter what team it is, I feel like it's gonna be a great series.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I agree. I agree with the Anthony Edwards. His mentality. I love everything about him. He's such a young talent. He's so elite now, but he still can grow. Realistically, I think we could see him being the face of the league in a couple years. He's elite. He's a dog. He'll go out and get you buckets. He's a pretty good defender too with his athleticism and his shot blocking ability. I feel like any team would love to have him. He's incredible.
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah. So that pretty much covers everything we have for today in the first round. So real quick,
Mm-hmm.
we're just gonna do like a little who we got in the second round. Obviously, there's
Yep.
it's Timberwolves and whoever. We'll just say who we got for the game 7.
Yep.
So we're gonna start up top in the East. We're gonna start with the Celtics and we're gonna start with the Knicks. So I'm not gonna switch up. I can't switch up after what I've been telling you. I
Yep.
think the Knicks pull this one out. I think the Knicks pull this
Mm-hmm.
one out. I think they get over the hump, and I think they finally beat Big Brother in the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, that's where you're wrong. I gotta disagree
Yeah.
with you. You know, I have a best friend that is a Celtics fan, so
Yeah.
I'm pretty up to date with all the Celtics
Yeah.
scores and
Yeah.
stats and whatever. And
Yeah.
I can't count them out, man. I mean, they have
Yeah,
such
I
an
know.
elite
Yeah,
team. I
absolutely.
mean, I'm not discrediting the
Yeah,
Knicks at
yeah.
all. The Knicks are a solid team. I
Yep.
just don't see the Celtics losing.
I just got to be different,
I don't. Yeah, you are different, and that's fine. You can be
Yeah,
different, but I don't see the
but
Celtics losing at all.
I
I mean,
think
I'm
the
not
Knicks
saying
do
they're
it.
going to sweep. They're not going to
Yeah,
obviously
yeah,
not going
yeah,
to sweep.
yeah. But yeah,
I think we're going to see a game 6 win from the Celtics
yeah.
at the worst.
hmm So moving down to the Pacers and Cavs, I mean, obviously, I'm not trying to be biased, but I would be shocked if this game went more than 5 games. In the
Yeah,
Cavs' favor.
I don't think that's that crazy to say. I mean, it's definitely not going to be a game 7 series.
Yeah.
The Cavs are arguably the best out of the East. It's either them or the Celtics, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, the Pacers last year, with them going to the Eastern Conference Finals. The Bucks didn't have Giannis or Dame or Chris Middleton. The Knicks lost Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart, and so the Pacers' run to the Eastern Conference Finals last year was kind of to me a fluke. I don't think they deserved it. They played two pretty hurt teams, so I think they're going to get hit with a reality check here against the Cavs, and I'm going to say Cavs in 5 as well.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. I think the Cavs are just too. They have too much firepower on the team. Kenny Atkinson, he knows how to coach, which now, obviously, I'm not discrediting JB Bickerstaff because he built that Cavs team brick by brick. That is JB Bickerstaff's team. It was kind of like the Steelers when who was it? When Tomlin took over and won the Super Bowl with Pittsburgh his first year.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That was oh my god, I'm drawing another blank. Yeah, anyway, that was the previous. Sorry, Steelers fans, I'm just drawing a complete blank here. That was not Mike Tomlin's team. That was the other guys. This is kind of like the Cavs. I mean, obviously Kenny Atkinson plays a massive role in what the Cavs are doing this year, but it's Bickerstaff's team. You know what I mean? Like he built this team, but obviously Atkinson just coaches it better and knows the players better. But I just feel like they have too much firepower. I just feel like the Cavs.
I agree.
If it's not a sweep, I think it's now. I know you're hoping for a sweep just because Halliburton.
Yeah, I would love to see the Pacers lose, but realistically, the
Yeah,
Pacers
yeah.
will probably get. I think
They
they'll
might get one. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right,
especially at
so
home.
then we'll have the Cavs Celtics Eastern Conference Finals. So then we're gonna move to the West. We got the Thunder and the Nuggets. I mean, I like again, the Thunder. Too much firepower.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, Jokic is going to be a big factor, and yeah, whether or not he's able to do what he does best and get that 30-point triple double, whatever,
Yeah.
he's gonna need
Yeah.
to play as elite as he possibly can if he wants
So
even a chance. at
Jamal
winning.
Murray's gonna have to. Michael Porter Jr. is gonna have to hit shots. Christian
Mhm.
Brown, which Christian Brown's been actually playing very good basketball lately.
He has,
Which-
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, but ultimately, I have the Thunder in 5, maybe 6.
I think we could see a game 6. Yeah,
Yeah, like I wouldn't be shocked if it went to 7, just because it's the Nuggets.
yeah.
Like Nuggets are the
But-
Nuggets, but like it's
Yeah, realistically,
they're
I'm
just-
saying game 6 max.
yeah. And then obviously we have the Lakers, not the Lakers, Jesus, the Timberwolves versus. We'll do Warriors first. If the
Yeah.
Warriors happen to win, I think I got the Timberwolves in 6 against the Lakers, just because of the Timberwolves they match up they're just like you got Naz Reid. No one who's gonna guard him. No one's just
Yeah, he's incredible.
right. Rudy
I love
Gobert.
Dallas Reed.
Yeah, Rudy Gobert's gonna have 40 rebounds per game. So
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
yeah,
Draymond's probably gonna foul him a bunch and get
right. But
attacker
like
flagrant.
yeah, but I don't think the Warriors win tonight. But if they do, I think the Timberwolves got them in 6, maybe
Yeah,
5. But then again, if the Rockets win tonight, I still got the Timberwolves in 6.
I
Just
don't think
because
that's crazy to say at all.
yeah, I just don't. Yeah, I don't. The Rockets are a very good, solid team, but I just feel like the Timberwolves they have that experience. They have, they have them ball players. I mean, Rockets obviously they have some buckets, but like Anthony Edwards is Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, I don't
So
think you're gonna. I mean, even if you put uh, Ahmed Thompson on him,
yeah,
I mean, I still think you're gonna get buckets um, out of Anthony Edwards, regardless.
yep,
I mean, you get a screen and switch, and it's a
yeah,
mismatch, whatever. I mean, I think I do agree. I think at the most we'll see. Yeah, Timberwolves in 6 against either the Rockets or the
right.
Warriors. I also agree. I think the Rockets are probably going to win tonight. They got
Mhm.
all the momentum going. They're playing at home.
Yeah,
I mean, I could. I mean, you could all. We could also say, Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry, playoff clutch, but
right,
the
right.
Warriors have sold a
Can't
3-1
can't
lead
can't
before, so
can't count Curry out.
yeah, you can't. No, for sure.
But yeah, I just feel like no matter what, Timberwolves got that. So that our finals would be conference finals would be Cavs Celtics, which everyone's hoping for, and then you got
hmm
Timberwolves and
Thunder.
Thunder. Yep.
And then, I mean, for me, I think the Celtics Cavs. I mean, you think it's the Knicks, but we're gonna go Celtics Cavs because I feel like this is the most reasonable.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's right. Celtics Knicks. Yep.
Celtics,
No.
Celtics.
Like Cavs
Yeah,
Knicks, no
yeah,
Celtics.
yeah. Well, I'm
Yeah.
gonna go. Just gonna say from what I picked. I think Celtics Cavs gonna be, my opinion, the best series in
Yeah.
the entire playoffs, counting even the finals. I think that will be the best series. I think those are two very elite teams out of the East.
Mhm.
Both of them finals contenders. I think each of them could easily win the finals. Well, not easily because Thunder are crazy, but
Yeah.
um, I personally have. I know you're not going to be a fan of this. I personally have the
Yeah.
Celtics
Yeah.
winning in the Eastern Conference Finals and going to the finals.
Yeah. Now, obviously, I got the Cavs winning the finals, but like I can't even like that's not even biased. You know what I mean? Obviously, a little bit of it is, but like I mean,
Yeah, no,
it can
no. I
happen.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Like I
Yeah.
said, We'll probably see Game 7 series out of this matchup. It could go either way. I just see the Celtics taking it, but the Cavs could definitely take it.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah. But that's pretty much it for today. I mean, overview of
Yeah.
the first round, just a little bit of our predictions. So, I mean, hey, that was a good episode. That was nice.
Yeah, it was good. Good
That
first
was.
episode. I'm
Yep.
excited for consistently getting more episodes out.
Yep.
We will have a schedule posted here probably within the next day or two.
Yep.
We gotta try to plan around our work schedules for the summer, but yeah, we're excited
Mhm.
to get some more episodes out
Yep.
consistently. And we appreciate anyone who listens or tunes in. And yeah.
Hope everyone has a good day. We'll see you in episode 2.
Yep, see